Alright, this section is at the very end of chapter 8. This is where Simon talks to the pig's head on a stick, which has become the lord of the flies because, as with dead carcasses, right, flies swarm around it. The purpose of this image, right, this pig's head on a stick was created by Jack and his hunters, and when this visual is actually supposed to make us think of Jack and his hunters, right? The Lord of the Flies, this pig's head draws the flies into it, the flies follow it, just the same as Jack draws these hunters into his kind of violent community, right? So the Lord of the Flies could be this pig's head on a stick, could also be seen as Jack, of course. And in this section, Simon is hallucinating, or hallucination. That word suggests being crazy. You could also say he's having a vision, right? He's seeing something that is real and having an alternate perception of, and actually learning quite a bit during this conversation. So, end of chapter 8. Here, the pig's head talks to Simon. "What are you doing out here all alone? Aren't you afraid of me?" Simon shook. "There isn't anyone to help you. Only me, and I'm the beast." Now, this section where he says, "and I'm the beast," what's interesting about that is we know that that's not the case. We could suggest that the beast is from the kids' heads, right? The snaky thing that Percival talked about on the first night, or the beast could be the pilot who's been caught up in the trees. So we have a new version of beast, right? So the beast now is a man-made beast. We all know it's a man-made beast, right? This idea also, there isn't anyone to help you. Help him from what? Where does Simon need help? Is it that he's stuck in the forest? Is there something else that he needs help with? Think about that. Simon's mouth labored and brought forth audible words. Pig's head on a stick. Right here, he's just trying to make it into something. He's trying to suggest the literal. And in this vision, we become much more metaphorical. "Fancy thinking the beast was something you could hunt and kill," said the head. For a moment or two, the forest and all the other dimly appreciated places echoed with the parody of laughter. "You knew, didn't you? I'm part of you. Close, close, close. I'm the reason it's a no-go. Why things are what they are. I'm part of you." Again, Simon's trying to say, no, you're a pig's head on a stick. What does that mean? What's part of you? The darkness within, the meanness, the ugliness, the violence. It's all part of everything a pig's head dripping with blood and guts on a stick symbolizes. It's all part of human beings. And these boys on this island. I'm the reason it's a no-go, why things are the way they are. No-go. There was never any chance for them to have a civilized society because of this innateness within human beings. The laughter shivered again. "Come now," said the Lord of the Flies, "get back to the others and we'll forget the whole thing." Simon's head wobbled. His eyes were half closed as though he were imitating the obscene thing on the stick. He knew that one of his times was coming on. One of his times, right? One of his fainting spells. The Lord of the Flies was expanding like a balloon. "This is ridiculous. You know perfectly well you'll only meet me down there, so don't even try to escape. You'll only meet me down there." What's he talking about? Obviously, the pig's head on a stick can't go anywhere. So what is Simon going to meet down there? He's going to meet violence is down with the boys. So this horrible, all of this meanness, this nastiness, this violence, this evil is actually down with the boys. It has nothing to do with the pig's head on a stick. It has to do with something that follows the boys. Simon's body was arched and stiff. The Lord of the Flies spoke in the voice of a schoolmaster. "This has gone quite far enough, my poor misguided child. Do you think you know better than I do?" Okay, now we're setting up Simon versus the evil. The evil doesn't like Simon because it's threatened by Simon. There was a pause. "I'm warning you. I'm going to get angry, do you see? You're not wanted, understand? We are going to have fun on this island." Again, this idea of fun and games versus being socialized and civil. Understand? We are going to games versus civility. We are going to have fun on this island, so don't try it on, my poor misguided boy. Simon found he was looking into a vast mouth. There was blackness within, a blackness that spread throughout the entire book. We've been talking about light and dark. Here again, one of the most obvious references to light and dark. Okay, so certainly if we look into a mouth, there's a darkness inside the mouth. But there was a blackness that spread. There's the important part. So, darkness, which we can denote with evil, is spreading. Or else, said the Lord of Flies, we shall do you, see? Jack and Roger and Maurice and Robert and Bill and Piggy and Ralph, do you, see? Now, I think this punctuation choice is really interesting. I actually went back and I checked it, because we often, we say, "Do you see?" right? But instead, "do you?" We shall do you. What does that mean? Right? Don't try to speak up against evil, or we shall do you. What does that mean? Simon was inside the mouth. Is that literal? Obviously not, right? He fell down and lost consciousness. So his mind is going dark, right? He's losing consciousness. Obviously this was a hallucination, but the point is that he learned something very interesting about the evil nature of not just this kind of beast-like Lord of the Flies, but the beast of the Lord of the Flies is created by the humans.